Welcome to Guiding Families Forward Through Divorce.
Hello there, and welcome back to Guiding Families Forward Through Divorce with attorney Ann Hamer. Ann is a family law attorney and founding partner of Hamer & Taylor with offices in Memphis and Nashville. She focuses on guiding high net worth clients through divorce with discretion, strategy, and compassion, helping families move forward with clarity and confidence. I'm Kevin Rosenquist, and today we're talking about life after divorce and why, despite the challenges, it really does get better. Ann, welcome back.
Oh, Kevin, thanks for having me. And I got to say, I love this topic. So I'm really excited to talk about it. I got to apologize because I'm in my Vol wear today because the Vols had a big win this weekend. And we're just going to go orange for this podcast. I couldn't help myself.
Love it. I love football and I love watching Tennessee play. They're a fun team. So I'm on your side. I'm a Tennessee fan.
Yeah, we're having a good season. And, it could be better, but it's been good. We haven't beat Florida in, I think it was 20 years at Florida
at the Swamp. Yeah, I saw that. It had been ridiculous long time.
That was pretty good stomp down. I hate it. Sorry, Florida fans. So, I've had to watch a lot of years without that happening. So I'm in pretty good spirits for this podcast, and we'll just go big orange all the way today.
All right, yeah. Go Vols and divorce, it's can be really tough. It's really overwhelming, obviously, but from your perspective, why is it important to remind clients about how life afterwards really does improve?
So obviously from my perspective, it's easy to talk about because I'm divorced. And while I was, in my mind, very happily married, I have two beautiful girls with my ex-husband. We can just start with the number one reason. He's a Vandy fan and I'm a Tennessee fan, and I'll never have to go to another Vandy game if I don't want to. So let's just know that there's, you can always find a silver lining after divorce. If you just start with one thing, I guarantee you there'll be a million more. But it is shocking, when you first either decide you're getting a divorce or your spouse decides you're getting a divorce, or the two of you come to the decision that this is just not working. It's the end of a dream. And so for my people that come to me, they're usually, even if they're the one who won out, they're very sad. And there's a lot of depression about, a failure of something that you tried for and that you dreamed about and that you made effort for. If there is, what do you call it when someone's really sincere about themselves? If somebody can actually look deep into their own heart, there's going to be that sadness there. Sometimes people are just super angry, or they're super sick of the person or whatever it is, and they haven't done the introspective work yet. But once they do, everybody tends to be a little sad. And so you think about, or a lot sad, and you think about, how am I going to look on the other side of this? Especially if you have a lawyer like I am, who's telling you can't date, you can't do anything. If you go out, you better be in a group. It's very limiting socially while you're getting divorced, because if you're listening to your lawyer, you're not dating. And so you're being very careful. And so you're not getting love and attention. You don't even know what that's going to feel like in your new life. Some people will even go through their divorce and after the divorce still feel like they're not ready to date. They're not ready to accept that kind of attention or love. And so, they live through sort of a purgatory period, even post-divorce. But for sure, going through the divorce can be a real purgatory because you're just not sure. First place, super financially unsure, right? Parenting wise, you may or may not have worked out what your deal is going to be with the kids. Mm-hmm. And then your future, are you going to be able to move to another state? Are you going to change your job? Are you going to have to scale back your job because now you have more parenting responsibilities? All those things are going through the person's head, right? Once they sign on that dotted line and they get that judge's signature at the bottom, everything's new. Everything's new, and everything is going to be, I'm sorry, I'm going to get rid of this call. Everything, it is not always coming up roses, but it's all your decision. You're going to decide what's next in your life. There's nothing more empowering than being the person who decides what's next for you and your kids. But you're not a partner anymore. But a lot of not being a partner means not having weight or perhaps decisions that you don't like or you wouldn't have chosen, that you were having to make for the family, right? Or for all of you, that now that's not a factor anymore. You're deciding your own future.
Right.
Real hard for some of my clients to get how empowering that's going to be, men and women. What that
Well, it's hard in the moment too, because you're still battling those emotions. You're still battling that failure you talked about, or that perception of failure you talked about from at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something else that's been funny. I remember when I was getting divorced or first got divorced, one of my cousins said to me, well, there's a stigma around divorce. And of course, I'm from the South. So I'm like, is there? And I started looking around. And I thought, well, 50% of us out here are divorced. Mm-hmm. So where's the stigma? You know what I mean? I mean, what are the married people doing? Y'all just do y'all's own thing. We do ours. I realized that there's so much freedom. Personally, that's just a better life plan for me. Yeah. Not for everybody. Some people really do enjoy being married and making decisions with another person, and that's the person who's their co-parent, and they love it. But the freedom to make your own choices for the rest of your life about what you do with your time, what you do with your money, what you do with your children, where you spend time with them, when you spend time with them, how you prioritize those people, right? That's all your choice now. And choice to me is it's sort of a fundamental American value, is being able to pursue our own choices. And when you get into a marriage, if it's not a happy one, that's a place where maybe your choices or the way you would choose things, your desires may or may not be being validated. And when you're single, you're just going to validate yourself all day, every day, 24/7. It's great.
That's one way to put it. So I feel like a lot of people, though, especially since you work with a lot of high net worth individuals, in the fear of that lack of stability after a divorce, that financial stability could be real, especially if one person's worried that they're maybe not going to get as much, maybe they didn't have as much put in for whatever reason. Is that a battle that a lot of people face? Is that something that you have to talk to people about and get them to kind of reassess?
Definitely on both sides. So Let's say you've got the spouse who's been earning all the money. Under Tennessee law, both spouses are contributing. So whether you're the homemaker or the high wage earner, you're contributing. And our legislature has said both of those are equally valuable. But let's start with high wage earner. This person's out there killing it, started her own company, or spent nights and nights working in a big law firm to hit it at, making over $1 million a year, and he's exhausted and he's put all this time in. Either way, those people feel like they've done all the work, and now they've got to split all that up with this other person. And what's going to happen when I'm worth half? And I did have a client tell me one time, he was just the cutest. He was in his 60s. He'd sold his air conditioning company for $8 million. And he said, I really felt rich when I was worth $8 million, and I just don't feel as rich at 4. I thought, dude,
that's got to be so hard.
There's so many people that would think you're so rich at 4 million, right? But just because he had to half it. Then you're looking at the other person, and the other person who is used to generally being able to have a credit card they don't worry too much about. It's getting paid every month. The kids can go to private school. They can, take their ski trips or, buy a new, whatever it is, super fancy bike if they want, or they can go to a spa, whatever they're doing that generally is getting paid for. And all of a sudden they're going to have half, and half of a lot is still half.
Right.
But what I try to tell my clients is half of a lot is still a lot.
Still a lot.
You're just going to have to budget differently, but either side, but you're going to figure it out. And trust me, the stuff that matters when you're married, and this is just me maybe being superficial, I'm super materialistic. I love a good Prada bag. I'm all about, a great ski trip someplace that I want to stay at a Ritz-Carlton. But when I got divorced, it was almost like immediately none of that stuff mattered. I just wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to wear T-shirts and jeans everywhere. I wanted to drink Guinness I need it to be on tap, but I still really like Guinness.
It is way better on tap. I agree with you there.
I really don't want to drink it out of a can, but I will if I have to.
It's just not
Right?
the same.
So life just changes. Your priorities are so different. You're out of that rat race of, I've got to look and act like every other person in our social circle. All of a sudden, you're new. You're creating your own new life. What's that look like for you? Does that mean you're going to, knit caftans and move to Boulder, Colorado? Does that mean you're headed to Paris in an Airbnb? Does it mean you get to quit that stressful old job you had and become a podcaster? It could be anything, right? And it couldn't be that before. So that part's exciting. And the other part I would really stress, if you're in an unhappy marriage, you have no idea how much that's weighing you down.
Yeah.
Even if you're not admitting it to yourself, right? You might be just cranking along thinking, it's fine. I got home today, put food on the table. The kids got bathed. We watched our favorite TV show, ER, whatever you're binging at the time. Guinness is a House of Guinness, so I'm binging right now. And you watch that and then you're like, okay, I went to bed. And that was a pretty decent day. And you may have underlying issues with your spouse, but you're able to crank through every day just kind of fine until the blow-ups, because there's always going to be some kind of either deep sadness or a blow-up that's going on in there. Otherwise, people wouldn't be wanting to get divorced.
Yeah, if there's underlying issues, it's going to come out in some way. Yeah,
it's coming out every once in a while where you go, yeah, I can ignore it again for a little while, but it's still there and it's just eating at me and it's not right. Right. Once you're divorced, that's gone. Those feelings are gone and they get replaced with self-love, hopefully, and lots of validation from yourself, because you're trying new things, you're doing new things, you're on your own, you're making things happen. If you're needing to rebuild, let's say you're the spouse who had earned the money and you've got to give half of it away and you're rebuilding, you're going to be real proud of yourself for doing that. You're doing that for you and your legacy and your family. And if you are the spouse who's now got to figure out a budget, you also get a chance to figure out, could you have a career? What could that look like? What would that mean for you? That's a whole new ballgame that you may not have had the opportunity to do. Of course, right. Here I am talking about high income earners, right? Because in my not high income earners, that's a whole different deal. Everybody's
Absolutely.
working and everybody's struggling. And that's just different and stressful, but at the same time, the same level of realization or self-realization when you get out and you go, oh, this is my world now and I can choose how it's going to go.
I think you could feel that in any income bracket, I would assume.
Yeah. The relief of it being all about you for a little bit. And you can always make another decision to get married again. And some people really, really like that sort of a relationship, and that's out there. I promise it's out there if you want it. I try to tell people that all the time. They're all surprised. There's no one I'm never going to date. And I remember feeling that way and thinking, who am I going to date? I really looked at my divorce lawyer and I said, who am I going to date? I was going to cry. And he said, you'll just date out of town. And I was like, I will? What do you know? Like, what am I going to get on Hinge? Like, what are you talking about? But as it turned out, he was right. There's so many people in the world, it's the world is out there to go get. You just don't know it when you're in the middle of the sad part of it. You got to get to the other side of it.
Yeah, you got to get to the other side. You got to get past the, all those feelings of failure. Yeah, feelings of depression, the feeling of sadness, the feeling like, what am I going to do, and all that stuff. You just got to get past that, and then you can move on. Do you find that people benefit from being able to set new goals, or at least maybe not set, but at least like think about new goals in life since things have changed so much and maybe their priorities have changed? Very
much. And I'll tell you who's the best at it. My younger women clients, late 30s, early 40s, they, for some reason, are really able to pivot fast. And I'm so proud when they do it. I'll see them, they're married to millionaires, but they go out and get a job. And they don't care if that's a job making $70,000 a year in a nonprofit, or if it's an entry level, something they've got to do and get these kids into daycare. Even when they know I'm going to get them decent alimony, they get it. I don't know if it's something about women in that particular generation, because that's where I see them really pivot quickly. I don't know. Also, I suspect it's because they've got an education in something and they have worked for a while. Whereas you'll see a lot of women, my generation and older, who got right out of undergrad, maybe went to grad school, maybe didn't work long, got remarried, and so they or got married, and so they didn't have that, and they've been gone out of the workforce for so long.
Right.
Whereas if I'm getting someone divorced with a 4-year-old, she worked a minute ago. And so she can pop back in pretty fast. Some of them have never quit. And so those are the people that I generally think, or that as I have seen, have been best able to pivot quickly and move into a new life right away with no problem. And the other thing they all do is they have a glow up. Call it a glow up. It's the divorce glow up. And I don't know what happens. They all become blonde. They all get really, really pretty. The stress is gone, I guess, and they know they're going to be dating. And half the time I don't recognize them when I see them again because they look so good. They come starting to me, in mom clothes and like leggings and just sort of beat down. And by the time
I was going to say, and beat down and sadness and all that stuff that comes in.
By the time I see them again, they're, glammed up and out somewhere, and I barely recognize them. So that group has been a nice surprise for me working with clients in that age group to see how resilient they are.
That's cool. That's really
Everyone
interesting.
should be like that. They should all do it. Everybody's got it in them. I've just noticed that group, that age group, that gender group has been able to pivot real fast.
You strike me as a fairly confident person as a general rule. That's not always easy for some people, that confidence. Do you feel like, what advice, I guess, do you give to somebody who may be feeling less than confident or have very low confidence immediately after a divorce?
You have to try, right? You have to try. And every time you try, even if it doesn't work, even if it only works a little bit, it's a step. Right? Mm-hmm. You have to take each step. You have to get out of the bed. This is the hardest thing for some people. And it was for me. I remember getting in my bed one day and just thinking, I'm not getting out today. I'm not doing it. Not till I pick up carpool. I can't even look at the sunshine. You must get out of the bed. You must take a shower. We're going to just start small and get out of the bed, take a shower, meet a friend for coffee, get out of your house, take a walk. Let's just start there. Then I'm going to work out. I'm just going to make myself do it just once a week even, right? Make some little things happen, because when you're making those little things happen and you achieve them, then the next bigger thing can happen. Therapy is the number one thing for my clients. I think they all need to be in it. Nothing could be better for someone going through a divorce than to have a therapist to talk to. The lawyers just can't do it. I would love to do it, but I'm not qualified to do it. I can tell you, your spouse is gaslighting you, or they sound insane, but I'm not qualified for that. And I can't give you tools, but you're going to need the tools. But to me, the confidence comes from each little success you have. And if the only success you have one day is to eat half an avocado because you haven't eaten in 3 days, eat half an avocado. I have been there. And I can tell you that might be the best thing you do all day, is just look at your kids and go, oh, there y'all are, okay, that's what you did that day. You made dinner for the kids and then you went back to bed. It takes a minute. And, for my wage earners, if I'm representing someone like that, bless their hearts, they're just getting up like zombies, going into the office, they're trying to make a living so they can support what they don't know what it's going to be yet. And after the divorce, same thing. Then they're scared, like, gosh, I've got all this financial on me and I just changed my monetary situation so much. And what am I going to do? Again, you just take that one step. What is there a client you're supposed to call on? Just go do it. Just keep doing it every single step. And once you achieve all those steps, you start to look back at your week and go, wow, I got a lot done. This week is a better week than last week. And every week is better. Every week.
Yes, step by step, take patience, all that. Yeah.
Don't rush yourself. Right. Don't rush yourself. You're not going to be overnight better, but you will be better. It just, it'll happen. It'll happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, you've convinced me. I'm going to go tell my wife we're getting a divorce.
No, Kevin, you're one of those people who does better with a partner. It's good.
I love it. Yeah. No, I'm very, very happily married and want to keep it that way. But it's cool that to hear someone who's been through it, who sees it all the time, who does this professionally, to hear that perspective. I hope that this helps some people out there who may be struggling or scared or lacking in confidence, because it's cliche, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to today's episode of Guiding Families Forward Through Divorce. If you're facing divorce in Tennessee and want thoughtful guidance for both the process as well as what comes after, visit hamertaylor.com to learn more about working with Ann and her team. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, share this episode with someone who could use the encouragement. I think it was great advice, and I hope that it can get out there and help some people. And always great chatting with you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Kevin. Go Vols.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.